As the 2025 season barrels toward its midpoint, something unthinkable is happening inside the silver walls of Brackley. Mercedes-AMG Petronas, once the most dominant force in Formula One history, is losing its grip. Not just on championships, not just on podiums, on identity, on legacy. And at the center of it all stands Lewis Hamilton, the seven-time world champion, the icon, the legend, watching his empire slip through his fingers. It wasn't supposed to end like this. For nearly a decade, Mercedes was untouchable. From 2014 to 2020, they rewrote the rulebook on dominance, power unit superiority, aerodynamic brilliance, strategy precision. And Hamilton, the living embodiment of perfection, delivered title after title, redefining greatness with every lap. But now, they're struggling to stay in the top five. The cracks didn't appear overnight. They started subtly. A design miss here, a development delay there. But the real damage came in 2022, when the ground effect regulations reset the grid. Mercedes went bold, too bold. The infamous zero-pod design became a symbol of arrogance, an engineering gamble that backfired spectacularly. Hamilton, always the optimist, played the team role to perfection. "We'll get there," he said. "Trust the process," he said. But deep down, even he could feel it. Something fundamental was broken. And now, as Ferrari rises, as McLaren surges, as Aston Martin begins to threaten, Mercedes finds itself caught between two eras, a team built for domination that can't even dominate its own garage anymore. Because here's the brutal truth. George Russell is not just the future. He's becoming the present. The younger Brit is fast, fearless, and increasingly frustrated. He doesn't want to wait in Hamilton's shadow. He wants to lead, to win, to become the face of Mercedes. And as Lewis prepares for his final seasons in Formula One, the tension is becoming harder to ignore. Sources inside Brackley say the data is clear. Russell is faster over one lap, more aggressive in wheel-to-wheel combat, and hungrier, much hungrier. Hamilton still has the brilliance, the experience, the racecraft that can't be taught, but age is undefeated. And Formula One doesn't wait for anyone. And now the elephant in the room, Hamilton to Ferrari. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's happening. In 2025, Lewis Hamilton, the heart of Mercedes, will don red for the first time in his F1 career. It's not just a transfer, it's a statement. A man chasing one final shot at glory, one last chance to rewrite history. To claim the 8th title that slipped through his fingers in Abu Dhabi 2021. But what does that leave behind? At Mercedes, the departure feels like a betrayal, not because Hamilton is leaving legends move on, but because of how it's happening. Quiet meetings, silent negotiations. A team blindsided by the news. Toto Wolff, his closest ally, is now tasked with navigating a storm he didn't see coming. And the fans? They're split. Some say Hamilton earned the right to chase his dream, that Ferrari is the romantic ending he deserves. Others say he should have stayed, helped rebuild, proved loyalty when it mattered most. Either way, the damage is done. And Mercedes? They're scrambling. Behind closed doors, the pressure is suffocating. The 2026 regulation overhaul looms large, a once-in-a-generation reset. New engines, new fuel, new tech. And Mercedes, once pioneers, now look like followers. Their 2026 power unit program is behind schedule. Aerodynamic concepts are being revised for the third time in 12 months. Staff morale is at its lowest since 2013. Toto Wolff is trying to keep the ship afloat. Publicly, he talks about vision, strategy, continuity. But privately, he knows what's at stake. If Mercedes gets 2026 wrong, they're not just losing races. They're losing an entire generation of dominance. They risk becoming just another team. In the driver market, it's chaos. Carlos Sainz is out of Ferrari. He's linked with Audi, with Red Bull, even with Aston. But Mercedes? They're hesitating. They're watching Kimi Antonelli, the teenage prodigy, dominate Junior Series. They want him. But do they dare throw him into the fire in 2025? Or do they take a safe bet and sign a proven veteran? There are no easy answers. Every decision now impacts the next 5 years. And Mercedes, once the architects of certainty, are navigating a fog of doubt. Meanwhile, Ferrari rolls out the red carpet for Hamilton. Charles Leclerc, the golden child, welcomes the challenge publicly. But behind the scenes, there's tension. Two alpha drivers. One team, one dream. The internet is already melting with speculation. Who will get priority? Who will get the upgrades first? Will history repeat itself a la Alonso versus Hamilton in 2007, only in red? Hamilton knows the risk, but he's betting on legacy. If he wins title number 8 with Ferrari, the most iconic team in motorsport, he becomes untouchable. He transcends the sport. He becomes a myth. But if he fails? If Ferrari falters under pressure? If the car isn't there? If politics get in the way? It tarnishes everything. And that's the beauty of this moment. Everything is on the line, not just for Hamilton, not just for Mercedes, but for Formula One itself. We're witnessing the end of an era and the uncertain birth of another. Mercedes is crumbling, Ferrari is rising, Red Bull is desperate to hold on, McLaren is surging with youth. And behind it all, the clock keeps ticking toward 2026, the Great Reset. So here's the question. Who comes out on top? Does Mercedes find a new identity? Can George Russell carry the weight of a dynasty? Can Toto Wolff build again from the rubble? Or does Lewis Hamilton ride off into history, in scarlet red, clutching an 8th world title that changes everything?